Welcome, world. We're here at Everybody Struggles. We got another special guest. It's my good friend, Crystal.
Hey.
Thank you for taking the time to sit down with us. It's crazy because we actually went to high school together.
We did.
I was younger. So
You were younger.
I was a little baby.
Yeah, I'm a grandma.
No, not at all. But we met, you came to one of my parties. I can't remember if it was my birthday or if it was just like a theme that I had.
I don't remember. You've had a lot of parties.
I don't want to let you know that. But nah, the cool thing about Crystal is, she's from the Bay Area. She's a singer, she's an actress, she's your all-around like human being, and she's actually an author.
I am. I forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, I did write a book.
I'm not gonna forget that. So I know a good amount about you, but tell the world a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what you're currently working on.
All right. Well, my name is Crystal Gicks. I am from Oakland, California. I live in LA right now, and I grew up in East Oakland, and I'm an actor. And so that's primarily what I'm working on, doing commercial work, TV and film work here and there, and occasionally I write. Not really, don't tell people, and I'm just kidding. And I edit, and I'm a filmmaker as well. So I'm just doing some of everything, literally.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about growing up in Oakland, East Oakland, to be specific, and then to your transition to LA.
Yeah. Okay. So I grew up in East Oakland, Brookfield, right by the airport.
Oh, I know.
Right by the train tracks where Brandy Park is, right? I grew up over there. It was it was like a melting pot. It was predominantly Black, but it did have other cultures. Like my neighbors across the street were Hawaiian. Up the street, you had Vietnamese and other Hawaiian families and stuff. And we all grew up like family as well. To this day, because my mom grew up with them and I grew up with their kids. So we literally are like family, cousins, aunties and uncles, so on and so forth. So that was kind of like my root right there in Brookfield. And then when I went to high school, when we were at the same Berkeley High, after that I went to college, and initially I came to LA to the Art Institute for film. Yeah, a million years ago. That school is not even in existence anymore. So that's how I first got to LA, was after high school when I went to college. And then I left for many years, and then I just came back about 3 years ago now.
I remember you told me, you're like, yeah, I just got back.
Yeah, it took a minute.
That's crazy.
I didn't know if I was coming back, but I'm here for good now.
Did I hear that right?
I am here for good. This is where I am planting roots. If I leave, it's only for work. You know what I mean?
Right. So now we want to learn a little bit about you, dig a little deeper. What's the hardest thing that you've ever dealt with?
The hardest thing I've ever dealt with is growing up like everybody else, right? You grow up and you're taught things, which is for your good, right? But it's status quo training. It's how to do things the way it's supposed to be done. And it kind of strips you of who you are at your core. So the hardest thing I've ever had to do was try to be myself amidst the training of, walk this way, write that way, perform this way, whenever you're at school or whatever, just dealing with that type of stuff.
And it's crazy you say that, because I feel like everybody's dealing with something like that.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, everybody.
This book I'm reading, they call it domestication. And when we do it to ourselves, it's self-domesticating.
It is.
So it's interesting you said that, because I'm literally at that point where I'm reading these books about stuff like that. We've all known to be ourselves and all that other stuff, but the way society rolls, it's like, nah, you can't be like that. You have to be like this.
And I fully understand that I'm an ever-changing, ever-growing person. I'm always learning who I am. I'm going to always keep learning, and I'm going to change. But at our core, when we're 5, 6 years old, a lot of times we know who we are and what we want. And a lot of that got stripped away. So the hardest thing, like I said, is navigating being a right brain person who's so creative and, thinking outside the box all the time, to being confined and having to learn to work within the confines of the world.
So what did you do to become yourself? I mean, it's a little bit easier to ask that question now as opposed to overcoming and jumping in, what did you do?
I mean, I struggled because I confined, after getting into trouble so much growing up, I was I wasn't a troublemaker, but I was just who I was. And I got into a lot of trouble. And so while I was getting in trouble, I got tired of it, and so I was like, all right, they kind of beat me down over it. And I submitted to, what I was being told I needed to do, or how I should act as a lady, or how I should act as a Black woman, or whatever the rule was, and I'm still dealing with that as an adult. I grew up dealing with that, but it hasn't gone away. You still deal with outside projections all day long, be it from your parents, and we love our family, but be it from them, spouses, significant others, friends.
Just a random person down the street.
Huh?
I said just a random person down the street.
A random person down the street telling, oh, you should smile. I'm having a bad day. Leave me alone. I don't want to smile. I cracked my tooth. Or, anything. Right. They just say, you should smile. You're too pretty not to be smiling. Can I not have a bad day? Like...
I've said that before.
But see, you got that from somebody else.
Of course.
You got that from somebody else.
I don't say that no more. It's a waste of time.
Or, you're a man, you ain't supposed to cry.
Nah, I be crying. I be crying. I let it out.
I be crying.
Nope. Let that emotion go.
Right. Let it out.
So we want to dig a little deeper and then talk about what are some of the life struggles you've had as a person?
Life struggles. My weight. Again, projections, right? You're supposed to be, thank you. You're supposed to be a certain size. But growing up, I was bigger than all the rest of the kids. So that's been an ongoing thing from childhood to adulthood. Again, the projections, dealing with my own personal identity and what I liked. I've had so many careers by now.
Renaissance woman.
Yeah, I've had so many careers, and it's because I, was struggling, trying to figure out what I wanted. Once I submitted to what everybody else wanted, right. I found out I wasn't happy. So that's, one of my biggest struggles is just really coming back to myself.
So being that you had, these situations, the Renaissance woman, that's how I kind of like to put it. It's a positive thing because you got to experience life and know what's right, what's wrong, what to do, what not to do. Yeah. What did you do to get back to being yourself? Because what's nice is everything that I've asked you, it literally correlates with, you being yourself. So what are you continuing to do? I choose violence. No, I'm just kidding. No, I choose distance. I'm kidding. I choose boundaries. Right. I've learned to really establish boundaries. If I'm not getting energy that I need from somebody, or they're feeding me bad energy and I'm trying to do something and they're projecting onto me, I'm backing up. I might go into my little cave for a few days or a few weeks or whatever and not be bothered by that particular person. Even with family, I love my family. I'm such a family girl, but I have to keep a distance sometimes because when I'm focused on something, the way they see the world is a lot different. So that's when I don't recommend it all the time because it can lead to depression. However, I also meditate a lot. Like I start my morning before I do anything. I do my affirmations. Me too. I just got me a sound bowl. I don't know if it's good though, because it's not singing like I wanted to. I don't know, but we did one when we was doing yoga. I was like,
right, and it just had your whole body just feeling away, right? My mom think I'm crazy, but I got a sound bowl and I do my meditation and affirmations every day, and I just love going on long drives. Like a lot of times, people think meditation is just this all the time. It's so many different things. You could do the vibrations and whatever else. I go for long drives. I go to the beach. I sit with the elements, and I just listen to nothing. And try to calm my brain and tell it to be quiet. And then I'm honest with myself too. If I'm feeling bad, I acknowledge that. So those are some of the things that I do to get back to myself and acknowledge myself and give myself grace. Right. But I'm not perfect. I cry too. A lot of those trips.
Tease me about this now. So now we're going to dig a little deeper. And this is, I think it's a very important question for people to kind of get a better understanding. What are some of the daily struggles that you have that are holding you back from your fullest potential?
Some of the daily struggles that I deal with that are holding me back from my fullest potential. The projections. You can't go anywhere without outside influence. I can't go onto my phone without social media. And I use social media. I know you taking a break, But me personally, I use social media for work.
Right.
So I see stuff, even when I'm not trying to. You see stuff, oh, they got this car. Oh man, they got their hair like this. I want to do that. And it's like, I really don't care what other people think. But there's times when you're just like, oh man, that would be nice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it would be nice to be in Tulum or whatever, you know? So I forgot the question. Look,
No, I'm just, what are your daily struggles?
my daily struggles is just trying to block out, you know, the stuff that's around me so that I can stay centered and grounded, because there's a lot of stuff around you that can just take you out of what your goal is. Like even me having a goal of being, you know, a successful actor, a working actor, whatever. Like there's many times when I couldn't go to parties that I wanted to go to because
I remember that.
because I was booked, or because, you know, now, especially with COVID and stuff like that. So it was like, I couldn't risk having a test come up positive, knowing that I was on avail for work or whatever have you. So it's like, some people aren't disciplined in that way, you know, and some people are. So those are some of the things that I deal with is trying to stay focused,
Right.
and go for the goal, a gold digger. So I did that.
Right. As you should. No, I appreciate that. But so now, because, you know, dealing with these different distractions and social media and projections, I know you talked a little bit about them, but what do you do to prevent all those things from happening or to avoid them?
To prevent or avoid them, I log off of social media. Like sometimes I try to give myself like an hour limit. It's hard. It's so hard, especially if you post something and it's like, oh, you have to respond so that your algorithm and all this other stupid stuff. But I try to stay off. And again, I distance myself from people, especially people who have bad vibes, you know, or weird vibes, or vibes that are just kind of wonky, you know, or I give people grace, but sometimes people be on there, you know, clout chasing and all that stuff. Projecting something. Yeah, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. So because they're doing that, and you know, you don't want to catch the bug. Right. So you just kind of keep a distance, because that's not maybe your thing. That's not my MO. I'm not here to be on, you know what I'm saying? You know, look at me. Like my roles are not glamorous. You know, I'm doing ugly roles. I'm over here, Viola Davis lip crying on these roles, you know?
That's true.
So, you know, everybody want to be twerking. No shade to them, but that's just not my thing.
Well, you decided to do other stuff.
Yeah, it's no shade to them at all. It's just, that's not my lane. Right. So sometimes I have to distance myself, you know, and find my tribe. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just like stick to my tribe.
So now, because, you know, being from Oakland, growing up in the Bay, having all these different types of adventures you've had, what's your outlook on life now?
My outlook on life? Man, I love the Bay, but I ain't going back.
I wish everybody would say that.
I love the Bay. We love the Bay. It's like on our sleeve. We talk about it 24/7, but we refuse to go back because it's different. It's so different. And as far as, you know, the whole outlook in itself, is like, I'm grateful for the experiences that I had back home. As painful as they were at times, it was hard. Listen, they call it bullying now. I was teased all through elementary school. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight all the boys.
That's crazy.
I had to fight all the boys. And it wasn't until later, you know, one of the parents was like, they just like you. It didn't register then because y'all was slapping, punching, and kicking and running. And so I would chase them and beat them down. And then,
that's what they wanted. But
by middle school, you know, it dissipated or whatever. But my outlook, it started there, you know. But I'm glad that all that stuff is over with. I'm glad that I don't have to deal with as much. I guess I'm an OG now or whatever. I don't have to deal with as much stuff that younger people deal with back home.
Yeah, and then, you know, now it's harder because of social media.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine somebody bullying me via social media, calling me fat.
See me at the park.
Right. Let me pull up on you. Like, they don't even ride bicycles like that no more. But like, I couldn't imagine. So I think overall, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that, you know, I have those building blocks, not just the negative things, but, you know, Oakland in the Bay is just a special place It's a very special place. And I don't even have to tell you, but this is for everybody else.
Will be. Nah, it always will be. So the next question is, what's your ultimate goal in life?
My ultimate goal in life is to influence people. I can't motivate you. You have to motivate yourself, but I can influence you to kind of like what you're doing here, your goal here, right? Mm-hmm. To influence people to live their best lives and to live and be their authentic self, their true authentic selves. Because I'm on that journey. We're all on that journey, I hope. And I just want to do that through living my own. And I feel like I'm doing that. Like it's not something I naturally set out to do. I noticed that it was something. And you know how sometimes your purpose starts revealing itself? And it's like, oh, if you just keep living, you're doing just fine. Just keep living and sharing that experience. And people are latching on and like, thank you for sharing that. Now I'm going to go back to school. Or thank you for sharing that. Now I'm going to pursue whatever I want to pursue, Right. Because people where I'm from or where we're from, they don't pursue their wildest dreams all the time.
Stay there. Chill out.
Yeah. Or move to Atlanta.
That's what everybody's doing.
Look at me throwing shade. No, but I'm hoping, or not hoping that, but my goal is to influence people to live their truest, authentic lives.
That's beautiful. And I feel like it's important because then you start seeing life a lot better and easier and it's fun. Like
it is.
Chilling, like you like, oh man, like this is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so my last and final question is, if you were to give someone advice that looks like you or that has been through some of the same situations as you, what would you tell them?
I would tell anybody that looks like me, that's from where I'm from, or anything that can relate to me, what I would say is, whatever you want to do, you can do it. And I know it sounds cliche. I know. Trust me, I know. But I've been a flight attendant. I have been a full-time teacher. I have worked at construction sites. I have done, I made pizzas at Round Table. They made me be a cashier because, again, my calling is talking all the time. I was the lead flight attendant on planes. Like everything I've ever done was talking. But you can do whatever you want. If you say, okay, I want to build mud huts, go build mud huts. It's okay. And go be the best damn mud hut builder you can be on the planet. Like, don't let nobody tell you that that's stupid just because you want to build mud huts. Go do what you want to do and find a way to do it and just keep reaching for it. And don't let life take you off of that path. Like, pay attention to life because you need to have life. You need to spend time with your loved ones and so on and so forth and spend time with yourself and everything. But don't give up on the things that are calling your soul or calling your spirit or whatever you want to call it. The things that are pulling and drawing you the closest. Don't give up on those things.
I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us. Make sure you follow Crystal on her journey as she continues to keep thriving in acting, filming, and book writing. If you have any comments, questions, please write them down below. Thanks again for watching Everybody Struggles.
I just want you to know